Alright, I'm finally gonna do it. No, not the bus tour. Maybe soon. I need to clean because it's a hot mess. It always is. We've got 4 kids. And I do a lot of projects. But I've been promising to show the garden to you guys, and I finally need to just record it. I did kind of record it here and there. I just kept forgetting pieces. I forgot the greenhouse, and the greenhouse is broken down now, and it's a hot mess. So, I'm in my bedroom. I don't have anything in here. I just have my little cactusy garden succulent back here right now. If you saw us on Instagram, you'd see all the plants in here on travel day. Everybody sits on the ground. In between our beds. I mean, it works. We sleep in a jungle sometimes. The planters that are out front of the bus are the ones that stay on the bus full time until we have to figure out if we have like a border crossing issue, which will be an issue. We haven't run into that yet. So right now I have those plants on my back hump. I have a couple of succulent and plants in the bathroom. I'll show you that. I have an agave plant, and I've got a couple pothos that sit back there. My hanging plants basically hang in there on travel days because we're not really using the bathroom, not at that full extent. I have a cactus, dogtail cactus back here, and over here I have a morning glory little plant that I pulled from my friend's yard in North Carolina. It's dormant right now. It like comes back, it dies off. It's just kind of my experiment. Tray and my trimming shears, and we're gonna go to the garden. I also have this dog tray thing. It's not working very well. I think it's not getting enough water, ironically. It's pretty dry. It's supposed to catch the water from Phoebe dripping, which I guess it should be turned like this way. I don't know. On my dashboard, that's where most of the garden travels. Right now, this is kind of acting as my greenhouse. These will probably go into the greenhouse. I have a catnip back here that the cats were getting into, some lemongrass that I was trying to section off and get some more. This is St. John's wort that I pulled from the yard and started growing. And then there's another rosemary back there that I pulled off of my larger plant in the seasonal garden. So we're gonna go ahead and I guess do the seasonal garden because I just moved it over here and I gotta go fix up some stuff. And then I'll come back and show you my medicinal / edible garden that traveled with me. Oh Jesus. Okay, so coming off the bus, that's the edible medicinal garden. Everything's edible. And then we'll go around the corner. So, this garden, actually all my gardens are experimental. At no point do I know what I'm doing fully until I've had it going for a couple times. This year a lot of things are brand new for me. I am growing a couple cannabis plants myself this time and some hemp plants. I'm starting to do a lot of different herbs for teas. So I've been collecting, drying for teas, and then also collecting and drying my own herbs for culinary use. So I have a very small summer harvest garden because they were moving and it's already been hectic, so I didn't want to do too much. So to start, we have an herb garden. I have rosemary and SkullCap, cilantro, parsley, 2 different types. I got curly parsley and flat parsley. I have regular garden sage. I have Echinacea seeds that I planted over here and they've gone really well. I have my basil. This basil has been with me since starting the bus. I have just continued to trim and keep it short. I have also taken off a couple of suckers and planted them other places to continue growing them later, as this will all stay with my friend because I've already taken off a little bit of each of these for myself to take on the bus. This is Calendula, which needs to be harvested. And then I come back through. For me, I like to prune. It just makes me feel good. I come back through and I'll take this all the way off at the stalk and drop it, and that'll promote more growth from below. And then the second one, this one had radishes and carrots in them. And then I also threw these 4 tomato plants and bell pepper plants in here for shits and giggles, and they actually took off like really well. So we have some small tomatoes. I believe these ones right here are gonna be some type of purple tomatillia type of thing. You can see there's some tomatoes over here. You can see some tomato blooms over there. So I'm excited. That one's gonna be doing well. This, I don't know what the hell happened, if this is a sucker or if it just didn't do well. And then I have a couple of random carrots that are deciding to develop. I planted them, they didn't want to come up, and then now they're coming up. So maybe I'll have a couple of carrots in that little bed. This one's my pineapple strain. I need to come through. I had really bad aphids, an issue with aphids, and I sprayed them with water, like really harsh close up, sprayed them off of the stalks, and then came through and sprayed them with a homemade like garlic spray. And I have SkullCap companion growing, and what is that one? That one's Hyssop. And then I also have some purple basil. I have a hemp plant that's over there that I was trying to train and play with, and it's not working too well. This is 1 zucchini plant, 2 tomato plants, and I tried to do like a food forest type of growing in a barrel. So you can see a nasturtium back there. I had lettuce, and they're about done for the season. I got romaine in the back and curly, and then another romaine curly back there. And then as you can see, a big group of Roma tomatoes. I've got Romas for sauce, so I'm hoping to get a bunch of sauce tomatoes. And then I also, ooh, look at that big one. Look at that. I also have a patty pan squash that's in here. I've got 1 patty pan squash. It's on its own little trellis to hold it, and it's just reaching everywhere. I come through and break off most of the time these bigger ones and let the smaller ones kind of grow and reach. I'm gonna come back through, and so my tomatoes, I come through and break long stuff like this. It's not gonna throw any fruit. It's just for helping to get light. And if I go through and break a few of these off each limb, these smaller ones, this one needs water, they need water. These smaller ones will reach more and not waste energy on feeding that long one. So I'll come through and take stuff off like this. I'll take stuff off like these bigger leaves, because I am doing this, again, all experimental. In my mind, I'm thinking that they're in a container. They're not necessarily root bound, but they're root tight because there's so many other pieces that are going on in there, and there's not as much nutrition as like being in the soil. So I just personally am like, let me just keep clipping off these, like I call them suckers for me, because they're suckers. They just suck away the nutrients and they don't really need them. So I've just been removing them. I come through plants, tomato plants, especially most plants, if you break it off here, something new will come out here, like right in that crack. Break off there, something will come out of that crack, and that can be more growth like this that allows fruit, which you can see there's the little flower buds coming off of them, or it'll send another sucker arm up for light. So I took the bottom one off because it's not necessary, and then this one will keep growing up. That's my concept, at least. That's what I've been doing with the cannabis plant, everything on the inside of the rings, on the bottom. You can see mostly on the bottom leaves. Anything on the bottom leaves, on the inside of these rings, I removed all those, which allowed all the little ones to reach out, come out. I need to come back through and train these guys a little bit more again. So we have a summer harvest that will stay here with Nikki and them. The zucchini plants and the tomatoes will get killed or get chopped and dropped. So will the romaine and lettuce, and then the herbs will stay. This is my another experimental companion slash food forest. I have bush beans going on in here. Let's see if I have any beans on. Here's one. So I'll come back and get that, and I'm gonna pickle those. Hopefully I have enough. I can go back to Nikki's and get some from hers tomorrow. But I also, okay, so I have bush beans. I have 3 bush beans and 1 soy, which the soy just, I don't know what I did with this one. It's just not a happy plant. I think that got chopped off or something might have eaten it. I have eaten a couple of the soybeans. The pods right now aren't full. It's a little soft, so you can see it denting in. It's like squishy. When it gets hard, you harvest it and then you just steam them. So I've done a handful or 2 off of this one little bush. One day when I have more property or we're stationary again, I'll do like a whole basket maybe of this so I can harvest like a couple snacks worth. In between all of these, actually underneath all of these, I randomly planted turmeric and ginger that I had got from the store and just put in the ground after they sprouted a little bit at home, just like seed potatoes. So I think this one is actually turmeric and this one is ginger, or I might have it backwards, obviously. I'll have to photo ID and see if I can't figure it out. But there's a few, so like I said, there's another one. There's another shoot coming up. Here's another shoot coming up. So this one has a bunch of just, I put a bunch of them in there. They grow as rhizomes, so they grow and spread. So they're filling up the bottom half of this with ginger root and turmeric roots, while the top half is growing seasonal beans. This pot is another seasonal harvest. I have 4 tomato plants in this one. They're all Romas. These were all stuff I got from the farmer's market as starts. See, okay, so this is a sucker coming off the bottom of it. I already removed all the ones down low and have buried up high. This sucker just looks sickly. I haven't tended to them in a few days. So this I will remove. I'll come back with my shears and remove that because it's fruiting and I want all of its energy to focus on that. So I'm gonna come back through again. See, come up, right? You can see all the ones I've already chopped off in order to promote going higher. I have a couple of weird long short ones. This is gonna continue. This one's a sucker. This one's gonna throw fruit. You can see in the little cluster, the little fruit. So I'll remove this one that's closest to it will reach for the light and help give it that nutrients. I have calendula growing in there, some random wood sorrel. This one is the oregano, what's that say, lemon thyme. And on the other side over here should be German thyme. The calendula is just kind of burying it. And then I can't remember, I don't think this is actually anything. I think this is hogweed. I don't believe this is anything. I can't remember though. But mostly this one's tomatoes. End of the season, this whole barrel will get chopped and dropped. My last big barrel is my potatoes. These were all stuff I got from Misfit Marketplace. I got some fingerlings, different kinds, and redskins. Not really experimental. I know personally that if you take potatoes that are organic, they're not sprayed. One of the reasons why they're organic is they're not sprayed with a product at the end that makes it so that they won't throw seeds, which most potatoes do anyways. But organic ones will sprout pretty fast. So they sprout. And when they sprout and they send off a little shoot, you bury the bitch. you bury it, and then as it throws these shoots, as it grows up, so I thought I had killed these ones because we buried it too much. As it grows up, you just continue to bury it, but keep, you know, a portion above ground. So you just kind of fill it around, hill it, keep adding dirt, and then what happens is they, underground, throw off the potatoes. Like these little shoots will throw off potatoes. I don't think I see any on here though. Sometimes they'll show it to you. So yeah, that's the summer harvest garden. I have my Durban poison, that's my other cannabis plant. My Durban poison, which is looking super good and nice and thick. It's filling out really nice. You can see good buds forming. I removed, you can see how naked it is. I removed everything going up that was sporadic, and then anything on the inside of the rings was my guideline, and started sending them out so that each of these arms will send up their own shoots. See, there's 1, 2, 3. So they'll lay out, send up their own little shoots, and each one of these will be little cola arms. Big cola arm. So it's doing good. I need a little attention, a little bit of water. And then that's a hemp. So yeah, and we'll go to the other garden and see the summer harvest, or the edible medicinal garden. All right, back to the edible medicinal garden. So my goal with this whole garden and anything that came on the bus, except for my little bits of pothos and cactuses and stuff like that, those are ones that came with me on the front of the bus when I first got on as like experimental, see if I could keep them alive on the bus. And they're kind of like, I collect them from other people's yards. If they have like a little sucker plant or baby cactus, whatever. If they have anything in their yard that could possibly be grown in that, I basically just plucked one out and put it in there. So again, super experimental. So the majority of this garden right here is going to be edible. First of all, actually all of it's edible. It's majority medicinal. Some of them are fruits, and then most of it's also for tea. So they're all kind of like jumbled in. I've got some jalapenos in here, just kind of seasonally put in, because I've just literally been plucking stuff. If I have a little sucker or something, I put it in another garden pot, companion style, food forest thought process, and just went to town. It's all, again, experimental. I want to see if I can grow it myself, if I can produce it, if I can cultivate it and preserve it for myself for use later. And we have. We've enjoyed tea from the garden. We've enjoyed using it culinarily, infusing it in vinegars, you name it. And it's enjoyable. I like gardens that produce pretty flowers. Don't get me wrong, I love beautiful flowers. Peonies are one of my favorite flowers, but you can eat them. And to me, I find it fascinating that I can eat it, A, and medicinally use it, B, and that I can take it from seed and or sucker or shoot or whatever else from somebody else and grow it in my own garden and then use it afterwards. So for me, I personally say, like, if you like gardening and if you're just having houseplants and you're a houseplant addict, that's okay. Keep your houseplants. But start a garden that produces something that you can preserve and keep and use, because like it just feels good when you're sitting down after a long day of whatever and you've enjoyed picking through your garden and harvesting it and making a cup of tea. So maybe we'll make some tea. I'll harvest some stuff from the garden and then I'll make tea for tonight. So here we go. To start, we have these 3 identical-ish. I say identical because I just scrap built these. They're going to hold a 2-foot pipe in the middle, concreted. We're gonna concrete it about like halfway, fill the rest with dirt, and that way it'll have a pole receiver so we can hang a shade cloth off of here. So we'll have like 1, 2, 3 boxes. They'll all have poles that come up with a concrete base that hopefully will hold a shade cloth on the outside of the bus. I decided to make these planter boxes because we had so many individual pots that it was a pain in the ass doing loading up and setup, or breakdown setup. So I decided to consolidate. So we have a few different boxes. We still have a lot of planters. These guys basically right on the front dash right now. I have a, I hate these guys, excuse me. This is how you deal with Japanese beetles. Pop their heads. It's another hemp plant. I have Fresno heirloom hot pepper. I've been waiting. I've got one pepper back there I can see, and a couple of flowers. These are my little starts that I had taken off of the thymes, oregano, the German thyme, lemon thyme, and oregano. I took that off of the big barrel outside with the summer harvest so that I can take it with me. Because again, we live on a bus. With that said, I was lucky because we were here for the summer. So what I've been doing is, the summer garden is where I'm harvesting and trying to get as many of the items as I can. And then once I've harvested and dried and used that one because they will grow back, I've been letting these guys grow. And I'm still harvesting and still pruning because I like to keep my garden super organized. It's like the only thing I keep organized. Are you looking for the catnip, Nico? Yeah? You looking for the catnip? I want to say no, don't go to the catnip. Hey, you got kids' underwear? Hey. He just wants your love. He's a good kitty. My favorite is when he grabs his face. Alright, so it's organized in the sense that I keep it pruned, I keep it nice and kept, and I'm constantly monitoring it. It's a nice like mental tracker. Again, so this long travel crate, I have Fresno peppers, I have an array of oregano and different thymes. This is my elderberry plant that my friend Duncan gave me in Valdosta, Georgia. So what I've been doing is, as they grow up, I've been removing the stalks so that I can try to get myself a like bushed version instead of a tree, an elderberry tree. So I've got these guys. I'm gonna let my elderberry bush get probably about 3 feet high, like the other one, and then I will top it. So these guys, I'm waiting for these little shoots to get up. As they go up, I just break the side ones off. I don't have any to show you right now because I've already done it. But yeah, like I said, you just break them off. You can see, break them off, and then these ones grow from the center middle, so they just keep sending shoots out and keep growing tall. This is my sweet mint or spearmint. Which one is this one? This is spearmint, and it tastes so yummy. I like to pick it once you want it. When you're harvesting mint, they grow like crazy, so you don't want to really mix them with another plant. You can see they just kind of throw shoots underneath. Like this is a sucker, so it throws the shoot from underneath here where my pinky finger is, and it goes underground and then like tries to find a new space for light. So this one came out on this side, so this plant's doing well and thriving. I like to come through and prune it. Right now it's not bad as far as height wise. I probably will let it continue to get to here, and then once it surpasses that height, I will prune it. And by pruning it, I come in right above where I want it and just pick that section off, and then it's harvested. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it with this one just because A, it's not bad to prune the plant, because all it does, see, this is what happens, you chop it in the middle, you can see the short little stubby, that's where I pruned it last time, and then it sends 2 of these out to the side to continue growing. So it's really not a bad thing for me to come back through and do this. It's just gonna continue to make it bushy and fill out these spaces, which I want. I don't know what that plant is, but it's cute. I'm just leaving it there. So I'm gonna come and grab a couple of mint for tea. I don't need that many because I have another mint plant. So here's a couple of mint. I have some anise, hyssop. I'm actually not sure. I haven't done too much research on this one. You do use it for tea, but I don't know. I think you can harvest it whenever, but I'm also, for some reason, feeling like you have to harvest it when it's flowering. So I'm not really sure. I'm gonna take the calendula because I just wanna promote new growth. And like when I go through the calendula, they grow in stalks. If the stalk gets the capability, if you can like slowly weigh it down, these will shoot up.
right here, individual little pieces. See, that's a little bud right there. So that'll shoot that flower up. Then this next little section right here with this leaf will send another flower, another one. I just go through when it's like this. This one's already sent off a couple flowers and the stalk just looks sad, so I'm just gonna break it off. Same with this one. See, there's a little flower right here, and I don't see any little flowers over here. So I'm just gonna break it off right here and bring it down to being low. That one's going to seed, so I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna remove the flowers just for fun. What happens is this will get dry and hard, and then the seeds are inside of there. So I'm gonna let this one dry and then I'll collect the seeds off of it. I've got a little SkullCap right next to it. It's a Mad Dog blue SkullCap. So if I trimmed it right here, it would send two more shoots for stalks like where I'm about to trim. So that's how you keep a bushy plant. This one is my other it's another hot pepper, but I haven't gotten any peppers off of it. I believe this is one of the transplants that I got. What I do is remove, this one just wants to keep growing bushy, and I just remove all the leaves again on the bottom, try to promote more growth up top. I think I removed this from one of my summer harvest bins, that was the bell pepper, and put it in the hot box for a little bit to see if I can't get it to throw flowers like those ones. That one gave me flowers, this one's just being a pain in the ass. So when the hot box gets set back up, it might go back in there. This is a wildflower mix. I just had a flower packet for wildflowers, edible flowers. This one's not one, that came with the dirt. I'm not really sure what's all in here, I can't remember. I know basil, and I believe there's calendula back here, there's some echinacea, I think there's some yarrow and some weird stuff. It was just a big packet, I threw the seeds in and let it go. This is Tulsi basil that I grew from seed. I can tell from that leaf. I'll have to upgrade these. So this is Tulsi basil from seed. These are purple basil that I took from a shoot off of Nikki's yard. I'm letting it kind of grow a little bit taller. I'll probably let these guys both get like right here, and then these guys are gonna go into one of these boxes. So they will have edible herbs around the little poles. So those are my potted little ones, and that I have this larger box in the back. It's got 3 of the like 2-gallon pots, I think. I have more SkullCap, or Hyssop, and then SkullCap in the back over here. And the SkullCap is flowering. You can see the little blue flowers. I believe I need to wait till they're like blooming, so you can see more over here where they're blooming up this, and then I can take it off, and then that's for tea. Inside of here I also have these tomatillo, or ground cherries, I'm sorry, these are little ground cherries, and they're doing really well. I didn't think they were going to. They didn't really do anything for a while, and then all of a sudden they were like, hello, I have fruit, and they're still tiny. It's like the size of a raisin. They feel like raisins. So that's cool. I have those ground cherries right there that are doing really good. I mean, you see a lot of fruit. I mean, that's a significant amount off that little tiny plant. I mean, it's one stalk. It'll be a good little snack. I have Valerian over here. I got some weird coloring going on. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it looks pretty. But you're going for the root for this one, so I left it alone. I didn't plant anybody in here with the Valerian because you're going for a root. I have some St. John's wort that I collected from Nikki's yard, her last house. Found it in the yard, so I literally just walk over. When I'm telling you that this shit is experimental, I'm not kidding. I walked over, I grabbed a little shovel, and I dug around it and took the section and then plopped it in the pot. I put a piece of stick to help because it's a, they like to grow tall, or at least this one was tall when I plucked it out of the ground. It gave me a couple flushes of flowers. And what I'm going to probably be doing here soon is cutting it. When they're done with their season, they're gonna go dormant regardless. It's winter. When it gets winter up here, it's gonna die off on top. So what I'm gonna do is cut olive down here, and I'll let the roots just do its thing and stay in the ground, and they can send off more St. John's wort when it's ready. I companion planted them because they are good for a base layer, like a second canopy almost, with my other elderberry plants, which you can see I've got a lot of hardwood pieces. These are going into their second year. I got these from last year at our friend's house, or Lucas and Nikki's friend. They're about as tall as I want them. You can see them above the wheelbase. That's about hip height for me. And I'm 5'9". So I've already started pinching them off so that it won't go any further taller than this, hopefully, and that it'll start throwing more shoots that are gonna promote fruiting. I don't know if it'll fruit this year. I don't think it will, but next year it should. So that'll be exciting. So I've got elderberry. So this box right here held all of my herbs back when we first started getting on the bus. It sat on the dashboard. It's gone through a couple flushes of different things. I had some aloe plants, some other things. I have more calendula. I didn't realize how much these guys were gonna grow. I bought 6 little slips and just kind of stuck one slip here, one slip there, a couple in the, so this is my calendula. I got one little stalk here and one here. I have lettuce in here. I do have a patty pan squash back here as well that I grew from seed as an experiment, and it took off, so I'm letting it go. Hopefully I get some fruit. I do have also another blue Mad Dog SkullCap. It was one of the sickly looking ones of the shoot, so I just stuck it in here. I figured this soil was really healthy because I had grown other things in here and done a lot of compost in it. So it came back. And then you can see I have some lettuce on this side, and these are about done. I've picked off, we've eaten plenty off of here and used them for salads and sandwiches, so that's exciting. So, St. John's wort, valerian, tomatoes, and herbs. So the tomatoes, when they die off, they'll get removed and I'll replace them with some other type of herb. Same thing with the jalapeno peppers. Those pots will get reused for different herb that I get to find at the time. This one is basically my pride and joy, I won't lie. This is Miss Figgy. And Miss Figgy was a cutting that I removed from I took a cutting from a fig tree from somewhere. And what I did was I just put it in water. I rooted it in water, or I put it in water so that I could see if it would give me some roots. It did. I got surprised. I threw it in some soil and the bitch took off. Actually 2 of them did, because Nikki now has one as housewarming gift. So this one was a cutting in, I think, October, December, no. And see, I have a mother effing fig. Look at that beauty. And it's like getting pinkish. I'm not sure what type of fig it is and how dark it will get. Actually, I think that's the smaller one. The bigger one's back here. Oh, look at that. Yes. It's getting pink. It's getting so excited. I don't know how to tell when it's ready, but I guess I'll have to ask Deanna. So that's my fig tree. As you can tell, it's the same height as my elderberry, and that's done on purpose. So apparently when you're growing a fig tree, I wanted to keep it as a dwarf. That's intentional. This is a shoot coming off the bottom. These things grow like crazy. So you can see this other shoot coming off, which is great because it'll fill in right here in the front. This shoot came off the side, and then I have this other one that's getting trained that's coming off both sides. We've got this one going up. When this one reaches the same height as this, I will pinch it, and it most likely will go into fruit. When you pinch them, apparently that tells the plant to release their seeds and start procreating so that they can survive, because they think that they're dying. I got another shoot coming off right next to this fig. So when this one as well gets up to here, I will pinch it. So it'll make for it's a great house plant. I really love the fig. And it smells beautiful when you get up close to it. This is more herbs. This is oregano. It was taken from, a little section was taken from Beloved Cabin. So there's some oregano that came off of their plant. The mint that's in that one over there came from their plant, their garden as well. It was like overabundant. You can just literally cut. You can see right there how they're growing. You can just take a little shovel and cut all that in half, take that section and plant it, and just leave it alone so that it can come back to life. Don't harvest off of it right away. So this one is about as high as this bush. I'm gonna let it be, and then I'll give it a trim. I've got more mint over here. Something happened to this one. I think the freaking cats were laying in it. Something. See, I don't know. It got killed off a little bit. So I'm not really harvesting off of this. I'm just letting it grow. And then again, something came and ate this pepper plant. I don't know what the hell happened to it. But this is a pepper plant that was off of a free box. So this was experimental. This is becoming one of my favorites. This is Tulsi basil. It's highly aromatic. And it smells beautifully. I'm gonna pinch this off. So I'm gonna pinch it. You can see the little buds coming in after it. I wish you could smell it. That's gonna go in our tea. A little piece is just super, it's supposed to be super medicinal, and also it just smells really yummy. So I'm gonna take that one. I'm gonna go ahead and take this because I don't want it to go to seed, but I'm gonna put that in tea. I'm gonna let that one go. I have these cute little planters that Johnny found. I got 1 and 2, and they're lifted off the ground. They're just cute. They're like cute little doorstep ones. Again, experimental. I found lemongrass, which I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of this. It grows like crazy. I literally gather it up like it's a ponytail. And actually, I'm gonna cut a little bit lower this time. Gather it like a ponytail. And harvest that. And then that'll be for tea.
Come on in the bus and chill with me.
So that's lemongrass. Outside of the lemongrass that I have, and I just gave a little haircut, I have some yarrow. Yarrow's found all over. I literally plucked this from Green Mountain, North Carolina, from David Mara's yard. I found it, and it's growing very well. So it's really good for your soil. Also, their roots go down deeper than the other, well, whatever you plant it with most of the time. Their roots go down, and then they pull nutrients from the ground up. They're also supposed to be really good if you grow them and then you chop them and compost them. They're good to fix soil. So they're also good for tea. So I'm going to collect. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect some yarrow. These leaves can also be used for, you can dry them. They're really cool. The texture is super interesting. So I'm gonna put some down for tea, my box, and we're gonna keep going. Again, this box came from, mostly, I got the container in North Carolina because I had too many plants. I had harvested and found this in the yard. So I grabbed this from Mara and Dave's yard, and it's been doing really good. I'm about to get another set of flowers off of it, and the flowers last a couple weeks, so you can like enjoy them before you have to harvest them for tea. This was lemon balm from Dave and Mara's neighbor. Her garden was growing abundantly, so she let me harvest and chop them all the way down, and then I also took some sprouts, some little shoots off. I guess I've got flowers, which I didn't know that they flowered, so that's cool. I'm gonna take some lemon balm because that'll taste yummy as well in the tea. And I'm just going to chop you down. Take the one that had the flower off of it. and put it in my tea thing. Alright. So that was that side of the garden. I didn't do much. I'm letting everybody kind of recuperate from the move. Then we have this side. We have marshmallow root. You're going for the root, so I planted this one by itself just so I could remove the whole plant and take part of the root and then repot it. What I'm planning to do, this one I'm gonna upgrade a pot size, but because they're in containers, I don't want them to get root bound, so when it comes time to harvest, I will thin out the roots and then repot them and let them regrow in their pots. So that should be what's okay. I believe that these are supposed to get a little bit taller, so again, you can see my height kind of, it's like at my 3-foot hip marker. So I'm gonna let this one grow a little bit taller and then chop it and see if I can't get this one to flower. It seems like they're already throwing some buds that I can see right there. So maybe we'll have flowers soon. This pinwheel has been with us since we got on the bus, and I love it. So this one has a bunch of yarrow in it as well. Again, I just picked them and plucked them and threw them in here. I have Echinacea growing in here. It's kind of growing in with it. More lemon balm, which I could harvest some from here. I have a random dandelion, probably when I grab the yarrow. And I believe, yeah. I don't know if this is turmeric or ginger. I want to say that this is ginger, but I can't remember. So I have one turmeric or ginger in here, and I think that's it. Just lemon balm and yarrow. Behind it is a metal pail. I have the random edible flower mix that's in here. It came with a lot of basil. A lot of the basil propagated really well, obviously. And then there's calendula, and there's some other herbs in there. I just can't remember. I took some cutting or some shoots. I took some roots off of my lemongrass over there. What I did was I just, dug down, found where the roots were, and then separated off a little section. So I took like a chunk that was like this big. I took a couple pieces and put them in the inside of the bus, and then this one's in this pot as a cohabitating food forest. This is my sage cutting that I took off of my other plant in the summer garden. I'm just letting it kind of really get full and grow. I'll probably come through and grab some sage, some of these bigger leaves, just to help it keep growing. Again, edible flower mix, probably some grass. I'm not really sure, maybe some strawberries. Behind my big pail is my little pail. Found that one in the woods. That has a lot of the edible flower mix. Somehow it looks like there's like a kohlrabi plant that's growing in there. Yeah, I don't really know what's in this one. It's just an array of whatever. Chloe put some weird, I have no idea what that is. She stuck it in there and it's growing. And then I have another zucchini or patty pan squash trying to function in that corner. Almost done. I have my little clay pot thing that I found at my friend Duncan's yard. It was buried. I asked him if I could have it. I love it. I have several little ground cherries. You can see right here another stalk. It comes all the way up and it's fruiting. That same one fruiting up here. And then I have another one that's in this little section. It's growing really well. There's a golden cayenne pepper in the middle of them. It's throwing some fruit. I can see one right there. Maybe it'll turn yellow. Maybe I'll pick it because it's looking a little upset. Yeah, this one was cool. This is like my experiment 101. I have some yarrow growing in there. There is some sorrel, which is this little thing right here. It's like zingy, citrusy flavored. On that side, I have more of that edible flower mix seed mixture. Same on this side. I just, like I said, I just throw shit in there. Found another yarrow. I think I found these ones closer towards Pennsylvania. Grabbed them and just shoved them in, and they just took off. I don't think this is anything, but, well, now it's nothing. So yeah, it's all experimental. Again, I'm pretty positive these are ginger. No, actually, I think these are turmeric. So I think the bigger leaves are turmeric, and the small, like this big wide one, I think that's turmeric. And then I think these little thinner ones are ginger. So I threw turmeric in here a while ago. There is 1, 2, and 3 big stalks that have been growing in this. I'm super excited. I'm really hoping that they do well and I get to get some ginger off of them. And this also has my Echinacea plant in the back. It's already thrown a flower off for me. I already picked it, but I have more flowers coming off next. There's 2 more on this stalk, and then I haven't seen another, maybe that one when it comes out. I haven't seen another stalk get sent up like that for flowers. So, and that's first year, so I'm not really expecting much from that. I got this from a local farm. I couldn't help myself. I don't know why I got a black currant plant, because realistically, I should have gotten a blueberry plant, but I got this black currant plant. I'm planning on keeping it a dwarf. Right now I'm trying to train it around its cage. It grows kind of like everything else. It grows shoots coming out the sides. So I've just been training the stalk to kind of bend. I have this one coming over here and sending shoots out that way. You can see how it grows, and then it sends like a cluster of shoots. So when that, see that little cluster of shoots? So when this grows long enough and big enough, what I'll do is train this one to come out and around this piece of metal. And then I've been doing it with all of them. So this was one of the longer first ones that started off with it, and I've just been shooting it out. And then when these guys start growing longer, I'll start training all of these little sections to go different ways. So it'll be like a little bush, hopefully. That's the idea, right? The last few plants that I have that are edible and medicinal are on the front of the bus. I have my lavender plant, which I think I need to do like a hardcore trimming to promote flowering for next year. I didn't know that. I guess they like thrive on getting cut up a little bit. So I'm gonna drop that one back a little bit for this winter, and maybe it'll grow more. I have Primrose. It did grow. It did give me a couple of beautiful flowers, and then it like did this red thing and stopped. So I chopped it all down and it's growing again. So I'm gonna let those ones grow. They're growing back up. See if it gives me some more flowers. It's all experimental. At the front of the bus, see my catnip up there, other mixes. I have another aloe plant from Lucas. This one seems to be doing better. Oh good, it is. It's throwing pups off. So it's happy. I need to put more dirt in it and stop letting it get knocked around. Got its ass kicked a little bit. Another edible flower mix of Crazy. I've just been letting it grow. I come out here and harvest some of the basil so I can make pesto, and really I'm just letting it all like, I'm just trying to figure out what it is because I just planted it and thought it would be pretty. I have Nasturtium. I wanted to take some with me from the seasonal garden that's back there. So I went ahead and chopped or pulled out one section of it and put it in this planter. I have more edible flower mix. I got more self-heal planted, which are dying off now. Got some more basil. There is that is a zucchini plant. Let's see if I can't get it to grow this way instead. But that's a little baby zucchini plant. It's probably gonna need more sun, so I'm gonna go put it on the back porch later. And then this is more sorrel, which you can pluck off and eat it. And it's like a little lemon drop, like a natural lemon drop. Ooh, Alexis actually made lollipops with them infused inside of them, and they were pretty freaking good. Maple infused with like little wood sorrel bits in it. It's like sour. So that was my front yard edible medicinal garden. I can use it culinarily, I can use it for teas, and I can eat the fruit. Here's the thing. Most of the stuff that I've grown, again, experimental was A. It was mostly me sitting there and eating something and going, can I grow it from this? Or Alexis going, hey, I removed the mango seeds, which I'll show you in a second because they're growing. Hey, I removed the mango seeds. Let's grow them in a bag and see if it works. And then I'm like, oh shit, I've got 4 mango seeds that have sprouts
From me.
and now I don't know what, now I gotta put them in pots. Which will be great, because like, again, summer harvest items are gonna go, and then that'll be one of my travel fruits that I take on the go with me. And I keep one plant for myself and gift the other ones to friends. It's fun. I hope I did it justice. I know you guys have been waiting for a tour, and I keep saying I'm gonna do one, and I show you little bits and pieces, but I haven't given you a full tour. I know, I suck. But I'm having too much fun, and I got too many projects going on that I keep forgetting. So, this is the garden. If you have any questions, let us know. Otherwise, I'll be out here just pruning away. That'll be my view, to prune away. And I'm gonna start planning on, all right, I don't wanna say it, but like, subscribe, comment, mostly comment. Let me know if you actually care if I posted this shit, cause oh, you got her excited. Oh, umizoomi time. Oh, umizoomi time.